Alright, y'all. I am about to head off to the testing. It is like, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's cold. Man, it's getting cold here. Okay, I'm gonna put on a sweater. But yeah, heading to the testing exam. Alright, y'all, wish me luck. Alright, y'all, so I just got out of my testing for auditing, and holy shit. One, if you're not a morning person, don't take the exam in the morning. I don't think I passed that one, and I don't think it's because I was not prepared. I was like about 70% prepared, but I only had 4 hours to 5 hours of good sleep, and I don't feel good. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting sick. Like, I could have fallen asleep like at 9, but I stayed up to like 12, I think, and the exam was at 8. But so far the content wasn't that bad. Some of the TBSs were pretty decent, like they weren't that bad. Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a hit or miss. Watch I pass. Nah, I don't know. I really don't think I passed. And I don't think it was because I didn't study. I definitely studied. You know, studying more multiple choice than TBSs were really good. I wish I studied more TBSs, but I think I was okay. But if I were to fail it, like, I just know that I'm not taking exams in the morning. Like, no, like, that's something I'm not gonna do. But I think if I were to restudy, it won't take me that long. I think like 3 weeks or less to restudy for audit, because I kind of felt like I got it. I just need to spend more time on certain subjects. But I'm wearing my sunglasses because I don't want to see how I look. I look horrible. And oh my god, I didn't even tell you this, y'all. I spilled coffee while I was getting my book bag out during my lunch break, and that spilled all over the like inside the locker, and I tried to clean it up with like my sweater, and I felt so like awkward like cleaning it up while everyone was looking at me. Oh my god, that was so embarrassing. But yeah, that sucked. I wish the lockers were bigger, but whatever. Alright, I'm about to work out. Alright, auditing, y'all. 2019. Alright. So I am going to start the audit retake series. So this is the first video of many. So if you're interested, please subscribe, and I will update you on my audit retake. So currently, a lot of people have messaged me about what score did I get, and I said I was going to create a different video. So the score that I ended up getting for audit is a 53. And I realized two things coming out from that exam. One, from the audit retake, and I took auditing retake back in September 11, so this is like about a month ago, and I really could have passed it, and I'm actually was shocked because I thought that number would have been low. In my audit retake, I didn't really have a good rest. I literally only slept for like 4 or 5 hours because I was so nervous that I was not gonna wake up at 7 because it was at 8 o'clock, and so realized that I'm not an early morning test taker. And then 2, on a Saturday, I didn't realize that it was really, really crowded. So a lot of people had a lot of attitudes. There was just a lot of anxiety. So moving forward, if you're not an early morning test taker, don't take a test in the morning. And if you have like a lot of anxiety and you don't like, you're claustrophobic, do not take an exam on the weekend if you can, because even like going to the bathroom, there was like lines. It was just a hot mess. So moving forward, a little bit overview of how I did my study process from that time. I ended up taking this course called Learning How to Learn in Coursera. So I highly recommend, you know, you take a class that. You just, you learn how your mind operates. And I think from that moment, I kind of understood like how my mind kind of like learns and operates. And I've been hearing a lot about this thing called creating a mind map. So like a mind map is basically kind of like, creating like almost like a palace or like a mansion in your head as to like where information it is. So when you're presented a question, you can like how do I say this? You can actually like put things together instead of just trying to remember random facts, if that makes sense. So I use this app called CardFlow in my iPad, and I was able to create like a sequential thing, because auditing is very sequential, so it's not just random facts, it's very sequential. So understanding, from the, should you take the client all the way to understanding internal control, all the way to the end of, forming an opinion and issuing an audit report, that was very helpful in that. And yeah, and I think I did in total 600 multiple choice questions, and I only did 3 task-based simulations. Okay, so that's why when I tell you that the fact that I got a 53, like the fact that I only did 3 task-based simulations, right, for auditing, and I got a 53, like that means that I did more than half good. Because technically, I get why some people say, oh, like don't focus on simulations. I get it, because technically if you know the material, you do know how to do the simulations. I would say for this time around though, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that I complete all of Roger CPA's Smart Pass goals. They recently updated their software, and so it erased all of my past data that I had. If not, I would have showed you. But basically, like Roger CPA has this thing called Smart Pass, and it says that for every chapter you have to hit a certain number of multiple choice questions or task-based simulations, and then they say that if you hit them correctly, then you qualify for like sitting the exam. Like you have like a 91% chance of passing the exam. So I only did, because I was running out of time, I only did, I would say like 5 out of the 9 Smart Pass goals. And some of them are long, because I think chapter 4 has like 200 questions. And for me, I'm like, I didn't have time to go through 200 questions, like I just had to hurry up and get it over with. Another thing that I'm gonna do now that I didn't do back then is I'm going to 80-20 rule. And if you guys don't know what the 80-20 rule is basically says that 80% of the results is 20% of the information, or something like that. It's 80% of the results is 20% of the work. And it took me a long time to understand it, and I finally understand it. Because for me, when I was using CardFlow, right, creating the apps, I wasn't writing long notes. I was literally trying to condense everything into like a note card, or a couple of note cards. So it was forcing me to just really take the main ideas out of each chapter and creating like a system of how I did it. And for me, like that ended up helping me a lot. And again, the fact that I got a 53, 19, 20, 21, 20, 22 points. I just needed an extra 22 points to pass the CPA exam. And 22 points is not, it seems like a lot, but it's not a lot given my circumstances. And technically I only had like 3 weeks to really go through it. And during those 3 weeks, I was just trying to just understand like everything. Trying to understand how I was trying to still figure out like the system that I was trying to do. So I figured out what worked for me, and for me what worked out was creating a mind map. Another thing that I'm gonna do this time that I didn't do last time is I'm creating one Google Sheet, and I'm creating just the main topics of all the chapters, and I'm just gonna use that as my final review. And that's how I'm gonna be taking notes. So how I'm gonna be taking notes is literally not just copying things word for word. My thing is I'm just gonna grab the main topics for everything, because Roger does say this all the time. He says, do not memorize, like learn the material, like learn the concepts, and then you will pass. So instead of like memorizing the whole book, I'm just gonna grab the main ideas for every single chapter, try to correlate like a bigger mind map, and then going into the multiple choice questions. So, and another thing that I'm gonna do this time differently than last time is I'm gonna focus a little bit more on task-based simulations. I actually like task-based simulations, like crazy enough, like those are actually my favorite part of the exam, because to me, like those are the things that make the most sense to me. The task-based simulations actually provide real world examples as to what you would encounter like during an audit, or like, you know, working, you know, in, you know, or like working as a controller or something. Like I felt like for me, like sometimes like studying the CPA exam can be very like blah blah blah, like you're never really gonna like learn it. But to me, like when you do the task-based simulations, like that's actually, you could actually like apply it instead of just answering a multiple choice question, like if that makes sense. I don't know, everyone's different. Some people like, you know, like multiple choice questions, and that's fine. I don't mind multiple choice questions. You know, I did, you know, 600 of them last time, and I did 3 task-based simulations, and I got a, you know, and I got that score of 53. So this time around, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get a, my goal is to hit all of Roger CPA Smart Path metrics, which is about, I think like around 900 or 1,000 questions. So I would say maybe for every 30 multiple choice questions, I do like a task-based simulations. So I'll do the math, but yeah, that's where I am so far, and I'm currently halfway done with studying for the CPA exam. I'm currently doing chapter 7 and chapter 8. No, I'm currently reviewing chapter 6 and chapter 7, and then I'm gonna focus on chapter 8, and then Monday I'll focus on chapter 9, and then by that time I will be ready to take the exam. Okay everyone, okay, so this is the thing that I was talking about when I was using CardFlow. So Roger CPA has 9 chapters or 9 modules for auditing, and what I did was I broke those 9 chapters down into these mind map things, and this, so like the first one was the audit standards, preparing for the audit, obtaining understanding of client internal control, audit evidence, audit sampling, audit reports, SSARS, and other service reports. And so let's say, for example, a good one I think for here is this one. So basically, like, you know, when he, so like a good example for this one was like, okay, like what are the 3 types of audits? There is a compliance audit, an operational audit, financial statement audits, you know, and then there are 2 types of financial statement audits, right? So there's non-public, public, and then you see how you kind of create like a story of it. So that's like one of them, and the other part was this one. This one helped me understand internal control. So like, you know, the 5 steps of understanding, or 6 steps of understanding internal control, you know, oops. The only thing I don't like about this is sometimes it gets really hard to navigate it, but I mean, other than that, it's really cool. So like first, you know, you understand the 5 components of internal control, you know, then you document it, then you assess risk of material misstatement, then you test self-controls, then you reassess risk of material misstatement, and then you document the conclusions, and revise the audit programs, right? So that's basically what I've been doing. I originally was using this thing right here, and Notability. Notability is a really cool app that you could use, and I did it a little bit for auditing, but I realized that like this wasn't helping me learn. You know, like what I would do originally would just copy and paste pages from the book and then write my own notes. But I realized that like comparing this to, you know, comparing that to this was way more better because it forced me to learn it, and it forced me to create a story of how you, how do I say this? It forced me to create a story of how like the audit process works. And I think that's why I think I got like a 53. And again, like, I got that score literally by doing like, I think 600 multiple choice questions and only 3 task-based simulations. So not a lot of stuff. So yeah. All right, so that's how I am studying for audit. Oh, and also one thing that I am also doing differently. I have a final recall list. So like, you know, the 3 types of, you know, audits, what I mentioned previously, like I have like a final list of all of them, and this has been helping me a lot because like instead of just going through like the note cards, I could just have one final list and then just do it from there. So the good news is, like, you know, not having a job full time, I'm really able to focus on the exam. And I'm not gonna lie, like there are definitely days where I'm like, I don't really want to do this. Like today's a Saturday, it's nice out, and I'm about to study right now. So that's that. So again, if you're interested in following my journey, especially now since I'm gonna be posting more regularly on my audit retake, feel free to like, comment, and share, and make sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.